Simplicity is the key to victory. Imagine standing on the edge of a battlefield, chaos swirling around you, decisions that could change history hanging in the balance. Most would crumble under the weight of complexity, paralyzed by endless choices and overwhelming details. But not Napoleon Bonaparte. His genius wasn't in outsmarting his enemies with intricate plans or overpowering them with sheer force. His secret? Simplicity. Simplicity is the key to victory, he declared, a philosophy that carved his name into the annals of history. Picture this: a single, clear plan, cutting through the fog of war like a blade, every move deliberate, every action precise. This is the power of simplicity of force, so profound it turns chaos into opportunity, doubt into certainty, and dreams into reality. In this moment, I'll show you how to harness this principle, to strip away the clutter that holds you back, and to move through life with the clarity and confidence of a conqueror. Because when you master simplicity, nothing, not chaos, not pressure, not even failure can stand in your way. Napoleon didn't just fight battles, he mastered them. His strategies were not labyrinths of complexity, but elegant in their focus. He understood a truth most overlook. The more complicated your plan, the more room there is for error. Simplicity, on the other hand, is unshakable. It's the ability to see the core of a challenge and act on it without hesitation. Think of a general facing an enemy army twice his size. Most would panic, drowning in endless tactics and contingencies. Napoleon? He'd focus on one decisive move, a flanking maneuver, a concentrated strike end, executed with relentless precision. His victories weren't accidents. They were the result of a mind trained to eliminate the unnecessary, to boil every problem down to its essence. This is what made him unstoppable. He didn't waste energy on what didn't matter. And neither should you. Consider the alternative. How often do you find yourself trapped in overthinking, tangled in a web of options, paralyzed by the fear of missing a detail? Complexity is seductive. It makes you feel productive, as if piling on more steps or contingencies is the path to success. But it's a trap. The more layers you add, the heavier your burden becomes. Napoleon knew this. He saw generals and kings falter because their plans were bloated with unnecessary flourishes, their armies slowed by indecision. His genius lay in stripping away the excess, in crafting strategies so clear they could be understood by every soldier on the field. Simplicity gave him speed, clarity, and an edge that his enemies could never match. Now, imagine applying this to your own life. You're facing a project, a goal, a dream. The world bombards you with distractions, endless advice, conflicting priorities, the pressure to do everything at once. But what if you could cut through the noise? What if you could focus on the one thing that truly matters and pursue it with unwavering clarity? This is the power of simplicity. It's not about doing less. It's about doing what counts. It's about moving with purpose, unshaken by the chaos around you. When you simplify, you don't just work smarter, you become unstoppable. You gain the ability to act when others hesitate, to succeed where others falter, to win because you refuse to be weighed down by the unnecessary. The strength of simplicity lies in its ability to transform complexity into opportunity. Complex plans breed doubt. Simple ones inspire confidence. Complexity invites failure. Simplicity ensures execution. Think of a machine with countless moving parts, each one a potential point of breakdown. Now picture a machine with only the essential components, each part perfectly aligned to achieve its purpose. Which one performs better? The answer is obvious. Napoleon's strategies were like that streamlined machine. He didn't need elaborate schemes because he understood that victory hinged on execution, not over-planning. A simple plan executed with precision will always outshine a complicated one mired in hesitation. This principle isn't just for battlefields, it's universal. In business, the most successful companies don't chase every trend or overload their strategies with fluff. They focus on what they do best and deliver it flawlessly. In life, the happiest people aren't those juggling a million tasks. They're the ones who prioritize what truly matters: family, purpose, growth, and let the rest fall away. Simplicity is the antidote to chaos. It's the tool that lets you move faster, think clearer, and act bolder. When you embrace it, you don't just navigate challenges, you dominate them. But simplicity isn't about being simplistic. It's not about ignoring details or cutting corners. It's about discernment, knowing what matters, and having the courage to let go of what doesn't. Napoleon didn't win because he ignored the realities of war. He won because he distilled those realities into a single actionable focus. He studied his enemies, assessed the terrain, and weighed his resources. Then he made a choice. One goal, one plan, one decisive move. That's the discipline of simplicity. It's not easy. It requires clarity, confidence, and the strength to say no to distractions. But once you master it, you unlock a power that few ever achieve. Picture yourself in a moment of overwhelmed deadlines looming, expectations piling up, your mind racing with 1,000 what-ifs. Most people freeze, trapped by the weight of it all. But you can choose differently. You can pause, strip the situation down to its core, and focus on the one step that will move you forward. That's the Napoleon mindset. That's the key to victory. Simplicity doesn't just make life easier, it makes you invincible. Because when you focus on what matters, when you move with clarity and purpose, nothing can stop you. Not chaos, not doubt, not even the greatest of obstacles. You become a force of nature, unstoppable in your pursuit of victory. Picture the Battle of Austerlitz, 1805, Napoleon's masterpiece. Facing a coalition of Russian and Austrian forces, outnumbering his army, most generals would have crumbled under the pressure, concocting elaborate schemes to counter every possible move. Not Napoleon. His plan was breathtakingly simple. Lure the enemy into attacking his weaker right flank, then strike their exposed center with a concentrated force. No convoluted maneuvers, no overthought contingencies, just a single, clear strategy executed with ruthless precision. The result? A crushing victory that shattered the coalition and cemented Napoleon's legend. This wasn't luck. It was the power of simplicity in action. Napoleon didn't need 1,000 tactics. He needed one that worked. He stripped war down to its essence: deception, timing, execution, and wielded it like a blade. His soldiers, from generals to footmen, understood the plan because it was clear. His victory was inevitable because it was unburdened by complexity. Imagine what you could achieve with that kind of clarity, that kind of focus. When you strip away the unnecessary, you don't just fight battles, you win them. Napoleon's genius at Austerlitz wasn't in outsmarting his enemies with complexity, it was in outmaneuvering them with simplicity. He knew that in the chaos of war, the simplest plan is the strongest. Why? Because it moves faster, adapts quicker, and leaves no room for confusion. His enemies, weighed down by intricate strategies and divided commands, couldn't keep up. Their plans collapsed under their own weight while Napoleon's held firm. This is the lesson. Simplicity isn't just a tactic, it's a weapon. Itrobot. It cuts through chaos like a laser, turning overwhelming odds into decisive triumph. When you embrace Napoleon's philosophy of simplicity, you gain the power to act when others hesitate, to succeed where others falter. You become the master of your destiny, unshaken by the noise of the world. Now let's talk about the enemy of simplicity, complexity. Complexity is a thief. It steals your time, your energy, your focus. It creeps into your plans, your goals, your life, disguising itself as thoroughness or caution. But make no mistake, complexity is weakness. It's the endless to-do list that paralyzes you, the overanalyzed decision that never gets made, the bloated strategy that collapses under pressure. Complexity breeds doubt, hesitation, and failure. Think of a time you overcomplicated something, a project, a conversation, a choice. You added layers, second-guessed yourself, worried about every detail. What happened? You wasted hours, maybe days, and the result was no better, maybe worse. Complexity makes you feel busy, but it doesn't make you effective. It's like trying to run through quicksand. The harder you struggle, the deeper you sink. Consider a business drowning in bureaucracy, endless meetings, layers of approval, convoluted processes. It moves slowly, misses opportunities, and loses to leaner, simpler competitors. Or think of a student cramming for an exam, trying to memorize every detail instead of focusing on key concepts. They burn out, overwhelmed, while the student who simplifies mastering the essentials walks away with the better grade. Complexity is seductive because it feels like control, but it's an illusion. The more you pile on, the less you achieve. Napoleon saw this in his enemy's armies. Generals who planned for every scenario but couldn't execute one. Their complexity was their downfall, just as it can be yours if you let it take hold. The truth is, complexity thrives on fear. Fear of missing something, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. But Napoleon didn't fear. He trusted his instincts, his vision, his ability to cut through the noise. He knew that a simple plan, executed boldly, was worth more than 100 intricate ones. Complexity scatters your energy. Simplicity focuses it. Complexity clouds your judgment. Simplicity sharpens it. When you overcomplicate, you hand your power to chaos. You become reactive, not proactive, a puppet to circumstances instead of their master. But when you simplify, you reclaim control. You move with purpose, with confidence, with the kind of clarity that commands respect without demanding it. Picture a chessboard. A novice player agonizes over every possible move, paralyzed by the infinite combinations. A grandmaster, like Napoleon on the battlefield, sees the board clearly. They focus on the critical positions, the decisive moves, and act without hesitation. Their simplicity isn't laziness, it's mastery. They've trained their mind to ignore distractions, to zero in on what matters. This is the mindset you must adopt. The world will tempt you with complexity, more tasks, more options, more noise. But you can choose to be different. You can choose to be like Napoleon, cutting through the clutter, focusing on the essential, and moving with unstoppable force. Because when you master simplicity, you don't just navigate life's battles, you dominate them. Now, let's bring Napoleon's philosophy into your world. You're not commanding armies, but you're fighting battles every day, deadlines, decisions, dreams that feel just out of reach. The world bombards you with noise, endless notifications, conflicting advice, the pressure to juggle 1,000 tasks at once. It's easy to get lost, to drown in complexity and lose sight of what matters. But what if you could cut through it all? What if you could simplify your work, your goals, your life, and move with the same clarity and precision that made Napoleon unstoppable? Simplicity isn't just for emperors. It's for anyone who wants to win. Picture this: a single clear goal, a focused plan, and the confidence to act without second-guessing. This is how you conquer the chaos of modern life. This is how you turn your ambitions into reality. Think about your daily routine. How often do you feel overwhelmed by a growing to-do list, each task pulling you in a different direction? You start with big plans, but by the end of the day, you're exhausted, scattered, and no closer to your goals. This is complexity at work, creeping into your life and stealing your power. Now imagine a different approach. Instead of trying to do everything, you focus on one task, the one that moves you closest to your goal. You strip away distractions, ignore the trivial, and pour your energy into what truly counts. This is the Napoleon mindset: simplify to amplify. By focusing on the essential, you don't just work harder, you work smarter. You don't just survive the day, you dominate it. Simplicity in today's world means cutting through the clutter of modern life. Take your career. Instead of chasing every opportunity or overloading your schedule with busy work, identify the one skill, project, or connection that will propel you forward. Master it. Execute it. Let the rest fall away. Or consider your personal goals, fitness, relationships, self-growth. You don't need a 12-step plan or a dozen apps to track your progress. Pick one habit: running 3 times a week, calling a loved one daily, reading 10 pages a night, and stick to it. Simplicity breeds consistency, and consistency breeds results. The most successful people aren't juggling a million things. They're mastering a few. They've learned to say no to what doesn't matter so they can say yes to what does. This isn't about cutting corners or settling for less. It's about clarity, knowing what drives your success and pursuing it relentlessly. Look at the tech giants of today. Companies like Apple don't flood the market with countless products. They focus on a few, perfecting them to redefine industries. Or think of an athlete training for the Olympics. They don't waste energy on every exercise under the sun. They hone the skills that win medals. Simplicity is their edge, and it can be yours. When you simplify, you free your mind from the weight of overthinking. You move faster, decide clearer, act bolder. You become the architect of your own victories, unshaken by the chaos of a world that demands you do more. But simplicity requires courage. It means letting go of the need to control every detail, to chase every possibility. It means trusting that less can be more. Napoleon didn't win by planning for every scenario. He won by focusing on the one that mattered. You can do the same. Start small. Look at your day, your week, your life. What's the one thing you can simplify right now? Maybe it's decluttering your workspace, prioritizing one goal over 10, or silencing your phone for an hour to focus. These small acts of simplification build a mindset that transforms how you move through the world. They teach you to see through the noise, to act with purpose, to win with precision. Because when you simplify, you don't just manage life, you master it. Now, let's talk about how to make simplicity your weapon. The first step is ruthless prioritization. Picture your goals as a battlefield. You can't fight on every front and win. Napoleon knew this, choosing one decisive point to strike while ignoring the rest. You must do the same. Ask yourself, what's the one task, decision, or action that will move me closest to my goal? Focus on that. Everything else is noise. Write it down. Make it your North Star, and let it guide every choice you make. If a task doesn't serve that goal, cut it. If a distraction pulls you away, ignore it. This is how you reclaim your time, your energy, your power. Another key is breaking things down. Complex problems feel overwhelming because they're tangled in layers of what-ifs and maybes. Napoleon didn't see battles as chaotic messes. He saw them as simple equations: strength, position, timing. You can do the same. Take any challenge, a project, a conflict, a dream, and strip it to its core. What's the real goal? What's the next step? Forget the rest. Write down one action you can take today, no matter how small, and do it. Then do the next. Simplicity turns mountains into stepping stones. It makes the impossible feel achievable. Visualization is another tool. Picture yourself as Napoleon on the eve of battle, calm amidst the storm, focused on one clear plan. See yourself moving through your day with that same clarity, unfazed by distractions, confident in your choices, unstoppable in your focus. The more you visualize this version of yourself, the more you become it. Your mind is powerful. What you see, you create. Train it to see simplicity, to crave focus, to reject clutter. Over time, this becomes your default. You'll notice the noise of the world, emails, opinions, urgent but unimportant tasks loses its grip. You'll move with purpose, with presence, with the kind of quiet strength that others admire but can't quite understand. Finally, embrace the power of saying no. Complexity creeps in when you say yes to everything, every request, every idea, every distraction. Napoleon didn't win by fighting every battle. He picked his fights and ignored the rest. You must do the same. Guard your time like a fortress. Say no to tasks that don't align with your goal, to people who drain your energy, to habits that clutter your mind. Saying no isn't selfish, it's strategic. It's how you protect your focus, your clarity, your power. When you say no to the trivial, you say yes to victory. Simplicity isn't just a tool, it's a mindset. It's the discipline to see through the chaos, to focus on what matters, to act without hesitation. It's the courage to let go of what weighs you down and pursue what lifts you up. Napoleon didn't conquer Europe by overcomplicating his plans. He did it by simplifying them. You can conquer your own battles the same way. Whether it's a career leap, a personal dream, or a daily challenge, simplicity is your edge. It's the key that unlocks your potential, the weapon that clears your path, the philosophy that makes you unstoppable. So strip away the clutter, focus on the essential, and move with the confidence of a conqueror. Because when you master simplicity, you don't just win, you dominate. Imagine a world where success isn't measured by how much you juggle, but by how clearly you focus. This is the world Napoleon lived in, where simplicity turned dreams into empire. But simplicity isn't just a strategy for general sits, a blueprint for anyone chasing victory. Let's talk about the people who've mastered this art. Those who've stripped away the noise and built greatness on the foundation of the essential. Take Steve Jobs, who didn't flood Apple with countless products but obsessed over a few, making them iconic. Or consider Marie Kondo, who transformed lives not with complex systems but with one simple question: does it spark joy? These are modern Napoleons, not of battlefields but of innovation and impact. They didn't chase every trend or overcomplicate their vision. They focused on the core, executed with precision, and let their results silence the doubters. This is the power of simplicity. It's not about doing less. It's about achieving more by mastering what matters. Look at the story of Ernest Hemingway, the literary giant whose prose changed the world. His writing wasn't ornate or overflowing with adjectives. It was stark, direct, devastatingly simple. He stripped sentences to their essence, letting every word carry weight. Critics marveled, readers connected, and his legacy endures. Why? Because he understood that complexity dilutes impact while simplicity amplifies it. Or think of Warren Buffett, the billionaire who doesn't chase every stock or trend. His strategy? Invest in what you understand, focus on value, and ignore the noise. His wealth isn't built on convoluted schemes, but on a simple principle, executed relentlessly. These icons prove a truth Napoleon knew. When you focus on the core, you don't just succeed, you dominate. You create something so clear, so powerful, that the world can't look away. Now, picture yourself adopting this mindset. You're working on a project, launching a business, or chasing a personal goal. The temptation is to add more features, more steps, more hustle. But what if you did the opposite? What if you asked, what's the one thing that makes this work, and built everything around it? This is how you win. Simplicity lets you move faster, think clearer, act bolder. It's the difference between a scattered dreamer and a focused conqueror. The world respects those who cut through the clutter, who deliver results without fanfare, who build their success on a foundation so solid it can't be shaken. When you simplify, you don't just chase goals, you achieve them with a quiet, unshakable confidence that others can only admire. But simplicity isn't just about achieving, it's about thriving under pressure. Life is a pressure cooker. Deadlines loom, expectations mount, and chaos threatens to pull you under. Most people crack, overwhelmed by the weight of it all, their minds tangled in a web of stress and overthinking. Not you. Not if you embrace simplicity. Picture this. A crisis hits your project stalls, a deal falls through, or a personal challenge shakes your world. The instinct is to panic, to pile on solutions, to fight the chaos with more chaos. But simplicity is your shield. It's the ability to pause, strip the situation to its core, and focus on the one step that moves you forward. Napoleon faced armies twice his size, yet he never flinched. Why? Because he simplified the battle to one decisive move. You can do the same. Think of a firefighter rushing into a burning building. The situation is chaotic: smoke, flames, screams. Do they freeze, overwhelmed by every danger? Number? They focus on one thing. The next step: find the victim, secure the exit, move. Their training is simple, their focus absolute. This is how simplicity keeps you calm when the world is on fire. It's not about ignoring the chaos. It's about refusing to let it control you. When pressure hits, most people drown in complexity, analyzing every angle, worrying about every outcome. But you can choose differently. You can breathe, ask, what's the one thing I can do right now, and act. This is the Napoleon mindset. Clarity in chaos, action over hesitation, victory through focus. Simplicity under pressure is a superpower. It's the difference between a leader who crumbles and one who commands. Imagine you're in a high-stakes meeting. Everyone's talking over each other, ideas flying, tension rising. Most people react arguing, over-explaining, or retreating into doubt. But you? You stay calm. You listen. You simplify the problem to its essence, and you offer one clear solution. The room turns to you, not because you shouted, but because your clarity cuts through the noise. This is what simplicity does. It gives you presence, authority, control. It lets you navigate storms without flinching, solve problems without panicking, and lead without forcing. When you simplify, pressure doesn't break you, it reveals your strength. How do you harness this? Start by training your mind to default to simplicity. When stress hits, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, what's the core of this problem? What's the one action that matters? Ignore the rest. Write it down if you need to, a single sentence, a single step. Then do it. This habit rewires your brain to see through chaos, to focus on solutions instead of obstacles. Another trick is preparation. Napoleon didn't wait for battle to simplify. He trained his mind beforehand, visualizing his plans, stripping them to their core. You can do the same. Before a big dia presentation, a tough conversation, a critical task, decide your one priority. Picture yourself executing it with calm, unshakable focus. When the moment comes, you'll move with the precision of a general, untouched by the storm around you. Simplicity also means letting go. Pressure often comes from trying to control everything, every outcome, every detail, every possibility. But Napoleon didn't control the battlefield. He controlled his response to it. You must do the same. Let go of what you can't. Change the delays, the setbacks, the opinions of others. Focus on what you can, your actions, your mindset, your next move. This is how you stay calm when others panic, how you succeed when others falter. Simplicity doesn't just solve problems, it frees you. It strips away the weight of stress, the burden of overthinking, and leaves you with the clarity to act, the confidence to win, the power to dominate. The world will test you. It will throw chaos, doubt, and pressure your way. But when you embrace simplicity, you become untouchable. You move through life like Napoleon on the battlefield, focused, fearless, unstoppable. Others will wonder how you stay so calm, so composed, so in control. They'll see the results, your achievements, your presence, your victories, and they'll marvel. But you'll know the secret. Simplicity is your weapon. It's the key that unlocks your potential, the shield that protects your peace, the strategy that ensures your triumph. So cut through the noise, focus on the core, and face every challenge with the clarity of a conqueror. Because when you master simplicity, nothing, not pressure, not chaos, not even failure can stand in your way. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a new challenge project, a dream, a battle you're determined to win. The world is loud, pulling you in every direction with distractions, doubts, and endless possibilities. Most people would falter, tangled in complexity, paralyzed by the weight of it all. But you can choose to be different. You can channel Napoleon's genius, wielding simplicity as your greatest weapon. This isn't just a strategy, it's a way of life. It's about stripping away the clutter, focusing on what matters, and moving with the precision of a conqueror. Right now, I'm going to show you how to put simplicity into practice, how to transform your plans into victories, and how to live with the kind of clarity that makes you unstoppable. Because when you master simplicity, you don't just succeed, you dominate. Let's start with action. Simplicity isn't a theory to admire, it's a habit to build. Take one project in your life, your work, a personal goal, even your daily routine. Look at it with fresh eyes and ask, where am I overcomplicating? Maybe it's a task list bloated with low-value items, a plan with too many steps, or a goal clouded by what-ifs. Your first move is to simplify. Pick one priority, the single action that will move you closest to victory. Write it down. Make it your focus. Everything else, let it go. This is how Napoleon won battles. He didn't fight on every front. He chose one decisive point and struck with everything he had. You can do the same. If you're launching a business, don't chase every idea, pick one product, one audience, and execute. If you're studying, don't drown in every detail, master the core concepts first. Simplicity is your edge. It turns chaos into clarity, dreams into reality. Now, let's make it practical. Try this today. Take a goal you're working on and break it into 3 steps, no more, no less. Why 3? Because it forces you to focus, to strip away the fluff. Napoleon didn't overwhelm his troops with endless orders. He gave clear, concise commands they could act on. You're the general of your life. Command yourself the same way. Let's say you're planning a career change. Step 1, identify one skill you need. Step 2, find one resource to learn it. Step 3, practice it for 1 hour a day. That's it. No overthinking, no chasing 10 paths at once, just 3 steps, executed relentlessly. This is how you build momentum. This is how you win. Another practice is the daily pause. Every morning, take 5 minutes to simplify your day. Ask, what's the one thing I must do today to move forward? Not 10 things, one. Write it down and commit to it. If distractions creep in, and they will, bring yourself back to that one thing. This habit trains your mind to cut through noise, to prioritize like a strategist. Napoleon didn't win by reacting to every threat. He won by focusing on his chosen move. You can too. Whether it's a work task, a workout, or a conversation, make simplicity your default. Over time, this rewires how you think. You'll stop feeling scattered, stop chasing trivialities, and start moving with purpose. You'll become the person who gets things done, who achieves without fanfare, who wins without breaking a sweat. Don't mistake simplicity for ease. It takes discipline to say no to distractions, courage to let go of the unnecessary. The world will tempt you with complexity, more tasks, more options, more noise. But you can resist. Picture yourself as Napoleon, standing calm amidst the chaos of battle, your mind locked on one clear plan. Visualize this every day, a version of yourself who moves with clarity, who acts without hesitation, who dominates every challenge. The more you see it, the more you become it. Your mind is your battlefield, and simplicity is your weapon. Train it daily, and you'll forge a mindset that nothing, not doubt, not chaos, not failure can shake. Now, let's talk about the ultimate prize, victory. Simplicity isn't just about getting things done. It's about owning your life. It's about moving through the world with the confidence of someone who knows what matters and pursues it relentlessly. This is the Napoleon mindset, and it's within your reach. But it starts with a choice. Right now, I'm calling you to action. Stop waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect moment, the perfect you. Complexity is your enemy. It keeps you stuck, spinning in circles, chasing shadows. Simplicity is your ally. It clears your path, sharpens your focus, and sets you free. So choose it. Choose to strip away the clutter, to focus on the essential, act with the precision of a conqueror. Look at your life and ask, where can I simplify today? Maybe it's your schedule. Cut one meeting that doesn't serve your goal. Maybe it's your goal. Pick one dream and chase it with everything you've got. Maybe it's your mind. Let go of one worry that's holding you back. Start small, but start now. Every step you take toward simplicity is a step toward victory. Think of the greatest achievers, Napoleon, Jobs, Buffett. They didn't win by doing more. They won by doing what mattered. You can too. Imagine the power of a life unburdened by chaos, where every move is deliberate, every action impactful. That's the life simplicity builds. That's the life you can claim. This is your moment. The world is watching, waiting to see what you'll do. Will you drown in complexity like so many others, or will you rise above, wielding simplicity like a blade? Picture yourself a year from now, your goals achieved, your confidence unshakable, your victories undeniable. That's the power of simplicity. It doesn't just change what you do, it changes who you are. You become someone others admire, someone who moves through life with purpose, someone who wins not because they shouted the loudest, but because they acted the smartest. Napoleon didn't conquer by chance. He conquered by choice. He chose simplicity, and it made him a legend. You can choose it too. But this is just the beginning. Simplicity is one key, one philosophy, one piece of the puzzle. Napoleon's wisdom runs deeper, his lessons sharper, his strategies more profound. What other secrets did he wield to bend history to his will? What other truths can transform your life, your battles, your victories? The journey doesn't end here. There's more to uncover, more to master, more to conquer. Stay curious, keep seeking. Follow this channel, hit that notification bell, and don't miss the next lesson that could change everything. Head to our page to dive into more videos that unpack the philosophies of the greats, each one a step toward your own greatness. Because when you embrace simplicity, when you chase wisdom, when you act with purpose, you don't just live, you dominate. So what's next? The choice is yours. Make it a simple one.